Hey guys, we're doing high bar pause squats today. It's pretty cool because I'm training with Sonny, and something I love training about him is he's got the same mindset as me in that he just wants to get really strong. But we normally do different things, except today we're not doing different things. We've both come off pretty busy weekends and we've decided that we're both going to have kind of easy squat days. So we have heavy days and we have light days, and this is both of our light days. And we've both fallen on the same light day, and we've both fallen on the same session, which is going to be high bar pause squats. So when we do high bar pause squats, something I love about it is it really complements my low bar squat. With a low bar squat, especially with knee wraps, the knee wraps take out my quadriceps because the knee wraps act as very strong knee joint extensors, which is what the quadriceps do. So that means when I do a lot of knee wrap squatting, I'm neglecting my quads. So therefore, I need to make up for that in my accessory squat days by doing no knee wrap stuff and a more quad dominant style of squatting, which is a high bar squat. The next thing, I love a pause because when you're squatting really heavy weights with knee wraps on, it's really hard to gauge when you've hit depth. So something that I do when I'm in a competition is I guide the weight down to the bottom until I feel that I'm at the right depth. So you can't really attack it like you really would with a normal sleeve kind of squat. If you can attack it, I'd say it's even stronger because then you get to really utilize the bounce in the bottom of the squat. But for a knee wrap squat with the goals that I have, I'm not going to be able to squat it really fast. I'm not going to be able to attack it. I'm going to have to really guide it and control it. And this is where a pause squat really comes into play. One more reason why I like a high bar. With a high bar squat compared to a low bar squat, the torso position is really upright. With a low bar squat, it's going to push you forward a little bit. But because it's pushing you forward, if I'm going for, my goal is 400 kilograms. And if you let 400 kilograms push you forward, it's just going to keep on pushing you forward. And you're going to land flat on your face. So the goal, even though it's a low bar squat, is to stay as upright as possible. It's still going to be forward lean, but the goal is to force your torso as upright as possible. So that's a lot of great reasons why a high bar pause squat is my number one accessory exercise to complement my low bar competition style of squat with knee wraps. So today is my first session back into high bar squats with a pause. I'm probably gonna have this as my light accessory day, maybe for the next 6 weeks. I've just set it to Sonny. My goal is 300 kilograms. Not today, I'm gonna work towards that. If I can do a 300 kilogram high bar pause squat, that's a nice number. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna do today. And Sonny's gonna be doing it as well. So he's still got slightly different style of squat to me. And now we're going to be doing the same type of squat, but you guys can judge for yourself. Our technique is still going to be slightly different. He's got really strong quads, and I've got really strong hips and core. That's where I get my strength for my low bar pause squats. But anyway, hope you enjoy the session. Yeah, let's do it.
What's going on YouTube? Yes, I'm jumping in on Bass's session today on the high bar pause squat. This isn't too different to what I normally do on my squatting style because I squat high bar anyway, and I'll always go bollocks in socks. The reason why I stick high bar in for me as an accessory training day is because obviously when I'm normally squatting, you'll see that I attack and drop into the bottom position to use the bounce to help me stand up. So there's that lowest part of the squat that doesn't really get as much work as it could be getting when I'm doing my normal squat. So for me, practicing doing the pause squat in the bottom position helps me drive aggressively out the bottom of the hole, which will carry over nicely into the squat and into the snatch. But then also for the clean as well, if I'm ever getting stuck in a bottom position, it's good to be able to have the strength to drive out the lowest part of the clean. So this is why it's perfect accessory exercise for me. Bass said he's gonna do 260 today.
I said maybe.
He's gonna do, if he does 260, I'm gonna go for 220, which will be a lifetime PB on the pause squat. So although it's gonna be a light day, it's a heavy fucking day too.
Ooh, let's go.
boy, Instagram. Sebastian is nearly 10 years, maybe more, older than me. See how he's just put his first plate on and he's going to carry on warming up for ages. He's old and sick. I just get straight.
Easy. Okay, so pause high bar squats done. I ended up doing 270. mainly because I was kind of going up in those increments.
It's gonna look better on the bar.
It's going to look better on the bar to have 5 reds than 4 reds and a blue. And Sonny smoked his 220. And so just so that you guys know, I'm probably 20 kilograms heavier than Sonny. I just lift heavier weights. For that reason, I'm a lot bigger. But otherwise, that was both, I'd say that yours was a lot easier than mine was today. Lifetime PB. I kind of will say that mine was a lifetime PB. I've done it before, but the pause was like, pause, go. It's stressful when you're at the bottom with a heavy weight on your back. But after watching Sonny get his newspaper out and have a read when he was at the bottom of his, I thought I can't let the team down. So that was actually, I'm going to consider that's the first time I've actually done a proper pause with that much weight, which is excellent. Great day for both of us. Now we're going to do a little bit more work. So I didn't know what I was going to do, but after watching Sonny, he's doing 1 1/4 squats, still high bar, and he's dropped the weight, and that's what I've done as well. We both dropped the weight to a weight that's not intimidating for us. It's just easy, and it's where we're going to get some good quality volume in. And the exercise that he's doing, 1 1/4 squat. So for him, he was talking about his fast squats. He lacks the strength development in that bottom phase of his squat because he's usually slamming it and bouncing out of the hole. So that's why he likes these pause squats. And that's Sonny, am I correct by saying that's the exact same reason why you're doing 1 1/4 squats now? Strengthening the sticking point. For me, I won't say that it's my sticking point, but I will say that you can't be too strong in that bottom position. That is the weakest part of the squat. So I'm going to do the same thing. So now, I've stripped it to 170 kilograms. How many reps are you doing? Triples? I'll do triples as well. We'll get a bit of volume in. I'll do 3 sets of 3. Sonny's already done a few sets. Are you still going?
I'll keep going. I think in that lowest phase as well, you need to keep the knees forward in order to be able to use your quads to drive out the lowest phase, which I suppose for a powerlifter, knee over toe wouldn't travel as much as it will do for a weightlifter, so it kind of becomes like the perfect accessory, especially if you're trying to build the quads and keep the knees over the toes when you're driving through the sticking point, instead of letting hip shift back, which will want to happen for most people.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's exactly why that's the weak point for powerlifters is we don't push the knees forward. But I'll tell you something funny about the knee wrap technique. To get the most out of the knee wraps, you want to push the knees into the wrap. So this style of pushing the knees forward is going to really carry over to my low bar wrap squat.
I think when so many people are first learning to squat, there's first people just starting to squat, you won't get taught necessarily to put knees over the toes or let them travel forward because people suggest it's bad. But actually for weightlifting and for powerlifting, we're both essentially coaching that skill at the heavier loads, either with your wraps or as for a weightlifter, knees over toes in the bottom to achieve a more upright position and to capitalize on the leg strength, the quad strength, as opposed to necessarily hips and glutes.
So this is kind of my belt position. I prefer it up here. Actually, I learned this from Eric Lillybridge. He uses a very high belt position, and I started. So they were mentors of mine, Eric and his dad, Ernie Sr. They were mentors of mine. I met them in 2014. A lot of my squat work comes from these guys. They're the best squatters in the world for powerlifting style. And he uses a high belt position for the squats and for the deadlifts. I found that for the deadlifts in particular, it allows me to achieve the bottom position without the belt getting in the way of my belly or the skin around my guts.
Yes, that's something I struggle with when I'm especially using a powerlifting bar, because I wear my belt literally just above my hip bone. When I'm doing pauses or going right into the bottom, I do catch the belt, which is why a lot of weightlifting belts are actually normally shaped. But Bass got me into using a powerlifting belt for my squats, and it does make a fucking world of difference.
So look at where Sonny puts it. So for his clean, jerk and snatch, he can't have it in a high position. He has to have it low. So for him, it's just
that's where my hip is. Yeah.
So it's as soon as so it's just above his pelvis. For me, it's look where I put it. I put it over the top of the rib cage. So that's the thing as well. It's not just about like where's the most ideal position for what it does is it increases intra-abdominal pressure. So imagine this is a balloon. My torso is a balloon. You wrap a rope around the center of the balloon, and the pressure of the air inside the balloon gets harder. So that's what's happening inside my body. So whereabouts do you place it for that to happen best? Well, there's that. And then the next factor is you've got ribs on the top, pelvis in the bottom. And if it sticks into either of those, it hurts and it will interfere with your movement. So therefore, I use a looser setting, but I put it over the top of my ribs. So when I get in the bottom, it doesn't pinch anything, it doesn't dig into the ribs, it's over the top of the ribs. And over the years, I've recommended this to a lot of my lifters. Half of them love it, swear by it. The other half just prefer it like where Sonny is. So for me, this isn't a black and white thing. I wouldn't say my way is better than yours or vice versa. It's definitely a comfort thing. For me, up high is comfortable. For Sonny,
I think as well for me, because I've been training for so long with my belt in this position, like 12, 13, 14 years before I met Bass, for me to change now and to brace something completely different would be too difficult. But I think if you're in your first 2 to 3 years, it's worth trying the high belt position because you could probably adapt quite quickly. But for me, it just wasn't working.
160.
One more step. So, Sonny mentioned that he likes to bring his hands in close to create upper back tightness. I do as well, but my mobility in my shoulders doesn't allow me to get as tight as Sonny. So the rule that I have is the same rule that he has, which is bring the hands as close as shoulder mobility allows. His shoulder mobility allows him to get close. Mine doesn't. So people ask me, why are you holding it so wide? Because it's as close as I can get. But that's the rule. The way that I say it is pretty plates and round numbers. Today I worked up to 5 reds for my top set. Sometimes I'll just take 1 plate off to do my back down set, but I'm especially tired today, so I took off 2 plates.
I think what you've always said to me before, it's either got to be considerably lighter so that you can actually work a different stimulus, or it's just enough for it to be still almost a working set.
Yeah. Well,
I went from 220 to 160.
220 to 160, which is still not a percentage.
No.
I mean, you can calculate the percentages at home, but that's not how we calculated it today.
No.
It's kind of just the weight that we know is heavy enough to create some kind of stimulus with enough volume in the session, but not so heavy that it's going to break down technique or beat us up for the next session. So
that can change session to session, can't it? Well,
absolutely. Like, I don't even know what Sonny's week is planned, but I can guarantee you he's going to be training most days. He just came back from 152 kilogram snatch on Friday, and you know that's a big. It's not his best ever. He's done more than that, but that was many years ago. So in a long time, this is the heaviest that he's actually been. So for him, you know, that's a heavy session. A couple of days later, he's doing another heavy session. You know, I guarantee you in a couple of days, he'll be doing another heavy session. So if you smash yourself too much on one day, it's pretty hard to have so many heavy sessions in the week.
I think the thing that's enabled me to be able to tolerate the heavy sessions as much, because I'd normally do 4 exercises in one training day. So there'll only be 1 hard one and 4 easier ones. Whereas now what I do is I'll do a hard session every other day pretty much, but I'm not doing any other work now. Whereas ordinarily I'd be doing another 3 exercises after I finish squatting. So I'm able to recover a little bit better than what I would normally do.
Last set of the day, let's just do it unbelted. I'm not really using the belt too much on that one anyway. Oof.
Nice.
Well, bro, good session.
Thank you, great session.
Best.
Thank you. And we're done, this is us.
Didn't even take us that long, did it? How long was it?
No, I think that was a pretty efficient session. That was excellent. I'm really happy with that. We both did top set on pause squat, and then I did 3x3. He did about 5 or 6x3. And we're done. So now we're gonna get on with the rest of our day, and we'll see you guys next time. Click like, subscribe. That's Sonny Webster GB. See you later, YouTube. Give him a follow. You probably already are if you're following me. Click like, subscribe. Any comments, any questions below, and we'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed.